Everyone, welcome back to the Frugal Christian channel. Thanks for tuning in. This is a detailed version of my husband and I working on our $100 a week food budget for groceries. Okay, so this is the process. I'm showing you what we had purchased, and then I'm going to show you how I got there first, and then I'll go into details, all right? So, first of all, I'm going to zoom in here. We make a list of Monday through Friday. So we say, okay, what do we want to eat? Do we want to have pizza? Do we want to have burgers? Do we want to have spaghetti? What is it that we want to eat? What is it that we have that we can use already? So in this case, when I say stir fry, I mean the loose definition of that. It's basically an easy to use rice mixture with vegetables, and then I put in a meat. And for short purposes, I just call it stir fry. Gym burgers we named after my dad because he found these amazing burgers at Costco that are pre-seasoned, pre-cooked, and you just kind of heat them, or you can cook them on the grill. And then I want to show you those in more detail, but that's the funniness of my notes there. In this case, we wanted to mix it up a little, so we put Trader Joe's on the top of the list. Normally we go to our typical grocery store. So this is another way to mix it up so you're not having to eat like some of the preppers do, where you eat the same exact meal for lunch or dinner 5 times in a row. We like variety, so this time I said, okay, let's go to Trader Joe's, mix it up, and then we'll get what we don't have there at Trader Joe's, we'll get at a different local store. In our case, Publix or Walmart or wherever else you can find things at the local market or whatnot. Okay, so as a base, what we do is for breakfast every day, Monday through Friday, we do oatmeal and cereal. My husband always does his oatmeal with cinnamon, honey, and then fresh blueberries from Costco. I do cereal and milk. Sometimes I'll put banana in it if we have leftover banana that my son doesn't eat. And then on the weekends we do eggs, bacon. We put a little cheese in there if we have some extra, or some variation of something like that as a treat. And then for lunch we do frozen meals that are ranging about the $3 to $3.50 range or less. My husband tends to do 2 a day, and in this case you see the number 8 next to his initials because he had 2 extras from last time that he didn't do. And then I do 1 a day, and also we don't beat ourselves up if we once in a while eat out. So if you eat fast food or you have something else, you're just craving something, or you're on the go, you have a meeting, whatever. We don't beat ourselves up if we have to make an exception to that, but for the budget purposes we stick to intentionally having 1 lunch that we purchased already. And again, if the office, they bring in pizza or something, we don't penalize ourselves for that and make ourselves eat the frozen food. We'll eat the pizza or whatever from work. And then, okay, so those are the easy things. And then the meals. So if you see it up close, I'm going to zoom in more. I put like a little square next to things that I'm missing. So for instance, on F for Friday, it says tacos. That's the general concept. It says we need to buy shells, tomato, and meat. So that means I already have cheese, I already have a taco seasoning, I already have lettuce or whatever the other ingredients are that I want on there. And then the ones with the squares, ones that's reminding me to purchase it. So then this list here, we literally take this and we put it on our counter, and that reminds us, okay, so if I'm coming home from work after my husband or whatnot, he's just like, okay, it's Monday, this is what we're going to cook. So he knows what we're having for the meal. If we get in a funky mood and we want to switch it up, we just switch it up, and then we cross it off as we go through the week. And then the weekends are not on there because we either use what's in the house or leftovers, or sometimes we'll go out and get something just to mix it up. Again, we do that with our budget because that's what works for us, so you got to do what works for you and your budget. This was a side note on here for my husband. He was just wanting to know the price of beef if we bought it small size at the local stores, or versus if he buys, the 5-pound version at Costco, which one is cheaper, and that way we know if we need to buy it in bulk and then break it down in the freezer into smaller size packages at home. Okay, so I take this list, that's the meal planning list, kind of like a menu, and then I write out the list, the things that had in the squares, I write out on here. So like, I needed 1 tomato for each thing, so that was 2 tomatoes because we had 2 different meals. The lettuce can be used for multiple recipes. I put the produce together so I can buy it in the store together. And then there was a few miscellaneous items that we needed, like hash browns we don't typically buy, but I was like, it's only $3, let's buy it as a treat. Or root beer. We like to get root beer. And then our son, we put baby there. There's a few items for him or general things for the household. So, like the toilet tabs, I don't count that as against our $100 a week budget. Or shampoo or toilet paper, things like that. Okay, the pink note was just a note for me. Okay, now I'm going to show you, and also I bring this into the stores with me. So when I go in there, I literally break out my phone and I'm writing down next to the items, here's what we spent, here's what it cost. And I'm putting it into my phone as well, so I plug in the numbers on it. Okay, plus $2.99, okay, plus $3.30. And then at the end, I estimate for some tax for the items it applies to. Okay, so this is how we do it, and you can cross it off when you're in the store, or I put a check mark next to it in the other store. That just helps me keep track of what we have, or if we're going shopping at the same time, we'll say, okay, you go get all the vegetables and fruit, and I'll go get the frozen section or whatnot. We can do it that way, or I'll just go by myself when I'm with my son. Okay, now I'm going to show you the physical items, and I'll show you the receipts as well to see what we did from shopping today. This is, we did the shopping on the Saturday, this particular day. And then this is where I write out each week, I write down what we actually spent. So in this case, $8.29, I wrote down $32.55, and then $45.47. So combined, that is less than $100 for our budget, and then each week, I'm going to write down week 2, week 3, week 4, and then total. So in this case, we have about $10 extra left over. That $10 I'm going to save for maybe next week. We might have to buy something that we had enough of this week that we didn't have, that we don't have next week. So for instance, we might need more oatmeal or something that's a staple item that we don't buy every single week. So that gives me room in the budget to buy those sort of things. All right? Okay, now I'm going to zoom out. Here is on the right side from the grocery store. So this was the stuff I could knock it at Trader Joe's. So I bought it there, and also sometimes the regular grocery store has coupons, discounts, or like in this case, buy one, get one free. I'm going to zoom in on the receipt so you can see that. So in this case, you'll see a lot of minus signs. That was because we were able to get most of the baby foods. I tend to spend about $15 or 15 of these squishies, which are typically $1.79 to $1 each, depending on where you get them at. But in this case, it was helping out our budget for future purposes, so I bought a few extra. $1.39, buy one, get one. Helped us to be able to get more and use them for next week's budget by spending them now. And then the other thing was the other ones that are normally more expensive I got for $1, which some of them it says like you save 69 cents or 50 cents. I only had to pay $1, which was still in my normal budget. So this will last us more than 1 week, which will also help out with the future week's budgets. Okay, so yogurt in the store was 10 for $4.80. I didn't buy 10. Just because it's 10 doesn't mean you have to buy 10. Some stores you do have to buy 10 in order to get the discount, but in this case this store does not. So therefore, I get the price of 10 divided by $4.80, but I only bought 2 because he only needs about 2 a week. And then the frozens were also a big savings this time. They were 20% off a lot of the frozen items that I intentionally selected, or I got the buy one, get one free. So normally in this case I would get 10 for my husband and 5 for me. I'm going to zoom to the side. How many did I get? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13, and he had 2 extra in the freezer, so we technically have 15 still, but a lot less expensive than we normally spend, because normally lunch is about $50. Okay, and then the root beer, and we're using the dark chocolate bar as our substitute for buying ice cream or some kind of a sweet tooth dessert. It's about $2.50 or so for the chocolate bar. It's extra large, giant size, and then $1 for the cheap root beer, or I'll get the brand name if it's on promotion. Okay, here's our fresher stuff from Trader Joe's on the left side. I have learned to stick with 3 bananas for my son right now, as opposed to buying too many and then I always have to throw them away. So I got him those. Apples I got this time as a treat for myself. I eat those with the little frozen dinners, which are like 300 calories or less. That way if I have a little bit of hunger, I'm eating a little tiny apple. It's like a mini-sized one. If you can see this, it's only a couple inches tall. Okay, and then the tomatoes, Usually we get the bigger ones, but I got Roma tomatoes this time because I know I'm trying to buy just the right size. Half the time, if you have extras, we put in the fridge, we never use it. So it's just wasting, it gets bad. So I just buy the right amount, and then if there's a tiny bit extra, I just toss it out. This is the, what I'm calling stir fry, for lack of a proper term. We do 1 bag of this, which has the meat and the vegetables in here and the rice, and then we mix it with the meat. This one's upside down, but 2 different kinds of meat, and then it has great flavor, and then we just cook it in 1 pan, and it makes it super easy to do, and it tastes amazing, and it gives you variety, again, without having to get bored. Okay, this is one of the meats. We have our ground beef, and then this other one was like $2.99. So super cheap on the meat. I want to zoom in on the receipt here. A little bit faded on one of the sides. Wow, my iceberg lettuce apparently was 59 cents, which is extremely cheap. It's not normally that cheap. That's not a typo. It doesn't say a 1 in front of it. No, it is $1.59. Okay, sorry. The one splurge was on the tempura chicken sweet and sour, $6. And then these cookies that are right here where it says Everyday Daisies, they actually gave that to us while we were waiting in line for COVID. We had to wait outside. It was kind of hot. So they gave us a bottled water, and they gave us an 8-pack of cookies, which my husband stole one already. And then my son got these little stickers from Trader Joe's. So that keeps him happy also. All right, couple other things here. We were looking for a canopy for the pool because it's been hot. We didn't find that, so we're still on the lookout for that. But we found a hat. I've been trying to replace this little hat for my son. He is outgrowing it, and it's getting tight. We just want to protect him and use it for when he's outside, swimming and whatnot. So we found this one, and I had been looking at Target, I had looked at Walmart, I had looked at different online children's stores like Gymboree and Children's Place, etc. Couldn't find one that we liked, and this one's kind of generic. It reminds me of Dora the Explorer and Diego, and it has this adjustment little thing in this inside, and it has a stretchy band that can make it tighter or looser depending on the child's head size. So we were like, okay, it's kind of expensive, you know, $20. The other one was like 30, and then the ones in Target were 10, but we could never find one that would fit him. They're always too small. So then, to our amazement, even though they didn't put a sign on it correctly, this hat was our special bargain of the day. It was a whopping $2.99, and I'll show you that on the receipt so you believe me. Right here, $2.99 youth hat on top there, 75% off. So we were super happy about that. And then my husband found one at Costco for $15 for him. He has a larger than average size head as well, so he found one for him so he doesn't burn his head. And then he needed a new pair of shorts because he has been working from home since March, and he keeps on wearing a ton of basketball shorts. So instead of replacing his work trousers from wearing out, we had to buy a couple of new pairs of shorts. So those, unfortunately, we bought full price, but he literally needed more because the other ones are not working out. The last thing I want to show you is, again, the Christian Frugal is all about not just ourselves, but community. So these little, the purple water here, it's a sparkling water, 0 calories or 10 calories in some of them. Our neighbor got them, and she didn't need them. She didn't like them, so she gave them to us. She gave us about 20 of them. We got all those for free, which is awesome. And then this was another program I had just showed recently for the jewelry. That's all the jewelry that I didn't want or like, so I'm going to give it to her, and then she can show it to her mom, her mother-in-law, her daughter, and her friends, so they can pass it on to other people. And again, free. It's just neighbors being neighbors and people helping each other out. So remember, the Frugal Christian, it's all about encouraging other people to save money and to find bargains and help each other out in the process, because we all need each other, and it just makes it funner and more affordable in life. Everyone likes a little bag or a box of something free. It just makes your day, or a coupon, right? All right, I think that is everything. We are still working on that fence quote, and then we'll be having a new fence coming up soon. So in the meanwhile, we're saving money by cutting down some of the plants ourselves, doing some of the demo work ourselves. All right, everyone, have a great day. Happy savings out there. Take care.